Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the blank journal in his hands. His teacher's words echoed in his mind. What do you truly love? What do you want to achieve? He had never really stopped to think about it. Every day was the same: school, homework, scrolling mindlessly on his phone, trying to fit in with his friends. But deep down, he felt empty, like he was just going through the motions. Frustrated, he tossed the journal aside. Why is this so hard? He thought about his classmates. Some were amazing artists, others were star athletes, and a few even had small businesses online. Meanwhile, he had no idea what he was good at. The more he compared himself to others, the smaller he felt. But then he remembered his teacher's other words: your only competition is yourself. Taking a deep breath, he picked up the journal again. Maybe it was time to stop worrying about everyone else and start focusing on what he wanted. The next morning, Ethan decided to try something different. Instead of rushing through breakfast and heading to school with his usual dread, he took a moment to sit quietly, observing his thoughts. What excites me? He remembered how, as a kid, he loved building things: cardboard forts, Lego cities, even makeshift gadgets. But somewhere along the way, he had buried that passion, thinking it wasn't cool enough. At school, he hesitated before raising his hand in physics class. The question was about simple machines, and though he wasn't sure his answer was right, he spoke up anyway. To his surprise, his teacher nodded in approval. Good insight, Ethan. That small victory ignited something in him. Maybe he didn't have to be perfect. Maybe he just had to try. That afternoon, he dug out an old toolbox from his garage. It was time to stop waiting for confidence to come to him and start building it himself. Ethan spent the next week researching basic engineering. He watched tutorials, read articles, and even messaged a local makerspace about workshops. His parents noticed the shift. Instead of zoning out after school, he was sketching designs and tinkering with spare parts. Since when are you into this? His dad asked, impressed. Ethan shrugged. Since I finally asked myself what I actually wanted. But doubt crept in when his first project, a small wooden gear system, failed spectacularly. The gears jammed, the frame cracked, and frustration boiled over. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, he thought. Then he remembered his teacher's advice: mistakes are how you learn. Taking a deep breath, he started over. This time, he went slower, adjusting his measurements. When the gears finally turned smoothly, he grinned. Progress wasn't about perfection. It was about persistence. Word spread about Ethan's projects, and soon, his school's robotics team reached out.
We need someone with your creativity,
Their captain said. Ethan's stomach twisted. Joining meant competing, being judged. What if he failed in front of everyone? But then he thought, what's worse? Failing or never trying at all? He signed up. The first team meeting was overwhelming. Everyone seemed smarter, more experienced. But instead of shrinking back, Ethan asked questions, even when they felt stupid. To his surprise, his teammates respected his curiosity. Slowly, he contributed ideas, and some even made it into their final design. For the first time, he felt like he belonged, not because he was pretending to be someone else, but because he was finally being himself. The robotics competition arrived, and Ethan's hands shook as he set up their machine. What if we lose? But then he realized it didn't matter. Win or lose, he had already gained so much: confidence, skills, and a newfound belief in himself. When their robot aced the final round, the team erupted in cheers. Yet Ethan's proudest moment wasn't the trophy. It was knowing he had taken control of his life. Afterward, his teacher pulled him aside. See what happens when you trust yourself? She said. Ethan nodded. The world was still big and scary. But now he knew. Growth wasn't about being perfect. It was about showing up, trying, and embracing the journey. As he walked out of the arena, he smiled. This was only the beginning.